And so this one was a really fun project. All we can disclose is that it's in Texas. As you know, if you're familiar with our demos at all, we do anonymize all of it. We are so grateful to the owners that even allow us to feature these projects. And so we want to make sure that we do provide that level of confidentiality to them, talk about their projects, but we don't answer anything specific. And further, sometimes we need to be careful on disclosing the exact location. So we can tell you this is a multi-building development somewhere in Texas. It is a fun project. It is a mix of a slight historic reuse of two fantastic historic buildings, and then the rest of the multi-building development, ground up construction, all new construction, right? So lots of varieties of assets on this particular site. Incentifine can address this even with our 2-minute survey, and I'll show you how we did this here in a second. So you can see here, we have a 3-step process. We're going to dive into the details of that in just a few minutes, but step 1 is we need the owner, the developer, the operator, or someone representing them, like a project manager, an architect, an engineer, general contractor, owner's representative. It doesn't matter. Someone who knows something about the project to fill out a 2-minute survey about that project. And you can get to that 2-minute survey at incentifine.com. You do have to sign up. There's a reason for that. We don't want your surveys floating out there on the internet. So we require you to sign up and fill out a survey. It's then only put on your profile, and that's kind of how we protect it, right? So you can have a look at that 2-minute survey if you go to incentifine.com in the background right now as I talk. Go ahead and sign up. Create a password and click I have a project, and you'll see the 2-minute survey that this particular developer filled out, right? Even though he had a multi-building development, it's a clever survey. It knows how to ask appropriate questions, and as we receive those answers, additional questions may pop up just to help us navigate, but it shouldn't take more than 2 minutes. As soon as you're done with it, you hit submit, and off it goes into our second step, verify. That's where Grace and her team lives, right? Verify stands for we're going to verify what the project's eligible for, right? So the first step, you submit a search survey because you're searching our database. Second step, we're going to verify your eligibility. Last step, we'll apply to anything that you want us to go after. So lots of Captain Obvious nomenclature, but we really like it here and it seems to work. So after the developer filled out the 2-minute survey, the results went into our verified team's inbox, and they began putting together all of the incentives that made sense for the various types of assets, right? So you can see that this project happened to be in a healthy incentive landscape. 161 incentives are available in this area. It doesn't mean they're eligible for all of them, doesn't mean all of them make sense. So our expert team took what the database found, put together a report of about 26 incentives, and then we had a 1-hour call with the developer. This is very common and considered best practices at Incentifine. Whenever we do produce your Verify report, we're gonna send you an email that says, hey, book a 1-hour call with our team. Trust me, you're gonna wanna go through that 1-hour call. Because we're gonna walk through the good, the bad, the ugly on those 26 incentives that you're eligible for, right? We're going to help you consider what are the low-hanging fruit, what makes sense, what has the highest success rate, how do you want to go after it? We'll put together a strategy for all of it. And you can see in this case, while the development was eligible for 26 incentives, they seriously considered and are going after 10 incentives. Let's jump over to the third step, apply, okay? Notice the bold, you see owner, 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 and then tenants. There are tenant-focused incentives. If you deal with ground-up developments and perhaps you build a core and shell, and you're thinking, well, I'm doing core and shell, there's probably nothing for me. No, you're wrong. There are core and shell incentives. There are also incentives if you're trying to attract an anchor tenant, maybe just a regular tenant in a retail space. So for this owner, in having that 1-hour call, we were able to talk with him and say, how about we tell you everything you're eligible for as an owner for your various types of assets, and then we're going to throw in some tenant-focused incentives. And when your tenants are ready to talk to us, we'll walk them through how to capture those. So again, really fun project. We're able to kind of take care of a lot of things with one fell swoop, right? So you can see the owner is going to go after, and we should be able to capture this. Construction should complete second quarter of next year. So 375,000 in cash reimbursements for all energy efficiency measures on their commercial real estate assets. They will get another 200,000 in cash reimbursements for energy efficiency related to their multifamily development. There was also just 15,000 in cash reimbursements for generators. We further connected them to, you can see some pretty lucrative tax credits. We do not do those in-house. We do not estimate those in-house. We happened to ask the developer, just give us an idea of what that number is at. He mentioned it's well over $1 million. So that's about all we can disclose from the tax end, but you can rely on us to do all rebate incentives in-house, take care of that for you. When it comes to tax incentives, we'll reveal them to you. We do partner with several firms around the country to white glove service those tax incentives for you. We just can't stay in those conversations. We are not a tax firm or a financial advisory firm. You can see we also connected this owner to the PACE network. They will be leveraging PACE. If you don't know about PACE, don't worry. We have a subject matter expert that will be on our December's webinar, and he's going to talk about PACE all across the country and the various projects that have leveraged PACE and Incentified. And then you can see the tenant incentives. We will be helping an anchor tenant go after 10,000 for a load management program, plus another 90,000 for energy efficiency. This is just one anchor tenant. The others haven't finalized their lease negotiations, so there could still be more money on the table.